From the Mumbai studios of Republic TV, it's time for The Debate.
Thanks for staying with us on The Debate. I'm Niranjan. The second wave of infections has made one thing very, very evident to all of us. Our politicians have taken us for granted. It's the hard fact. They don't like it, but we will say it. So while Indians are struggling to find beds, to get oxygen supply, or find medicines, the political class is busy fighting with each other and violating COVID norms even as we speak. Here's why we should all keep the negativity out and power through the fight.
In Visakhapatnam, this couple lost their 18-month-old to COVID. In Bengaluru, there are queues for prescribed medicines. As India struggles to breathe, some netas are trivializing the suffering.
जिस प्रकार का ये संकट आया है, इस संकट में हमको डाटा के साथ नहीं खेलना है। हमको लोगों का कैसे स्वास्थ्य ठीक हो, कैसे उनको हम राहत पहुंचा सकें, सारा ध्यान हमारा सब उधर ही होना चाहिए। अब जिसकी डेथ हो गई है वो वापस हमारे शोर में जाने से जीवित होता नहीं है। हम हर संभव प्रयत्न करेंगे कि सब लोगों को बचाया जाए। अब डेथ्स कम है या ज़्यादा है, इस विवाद में पड़ने का कोई अर्थ नहीं है।
Some using the religion card. Some attacking those enforcing lockdown. Political parties violating COVID protocols for votes. And amid the crisis, there is also vaccine politics. Rahul Gandhi has tweeted, "People's money was given to vaccine companies to develop COVID vaccines. Now Government of India will make same people pay the highest price in the world for these vaccines." Once again, the failed system fails the citizens for Modi Mitra's profit. Can these select few compromise India's battle against COVID? Especially at a time when it's all hands on the deck to ensure India wins the fight.
An order issued on Sunday evening, the state government has prohibited all oxygen manufacturing units from supplying the gas to industries till further orders. It is further directed that these units will be provided for their entire production of oxygen for medical purpose.
We cannot let netas divide and jeopardize our efforts. Let's debate.
Joining us on The Debate at 10 p.m, Nupur Sharma, National Spokesperson, BJP Advocate, Supreme Court, Shantanu Gupta, author, political analyst, live from Delhi, Pathikrit Payne, a political analyst, live from Delhi, Suhail Seth, Citizens Voice, Managing Partner, Council India and Brand Guru from Delhi, Shekhar Vijayan, also speaking for the Citizen, author, speaker, live from Bengaluru, Shailesh Gandhi, former CIC RTI activist, here is a Citizens Voice in The Debate. Riju Tatta, who's a spokesperson of the Trinamool Congress, live from Kolkata this evening. Ratnakar Tripathi, senior leader of the Congress Party, and Kalikur Rahman of the TRS, joining us live from Hyderabad. I want to start with a question to all political parties, and I mean all political parties, because we have seen Nupur, and I'll come to each one of you. Let me start with the BJP actually. Nupur, there was this announcement that came in today and yesterday when the spokesperson was here on The Debate, and I asked the spokesperson, I think it was Aparajita Sarangi yesterday, but I showed her the pictures of the campaign that was ongoing in Warangal. Even the Congress leaders were carrying out that rally. Even the TRS leaders were there, left leaders as well. Now, I'll tell you why I'm starting with you. Today there was a statement that came in from the Uttarakhand government saying that they're still continuing to prepare for the Char Dham Yatra. They continue to say that they are still looking ahead at the Chardham Yatra. And I'll tell you the exact statement of the tourism minister, who said the government is making all possible arrangements for the Chardham Yatra and will take a call on it after the lockdown in the state's different parts ends on the 3rd of May. So he's still waiting and watching on the Chardham Yatra. And I'll tell you why I'm still continuing to stick to this point. There's a single day spike of 6054 cases in Uttarakhand, 108 deaths in the last 24 hours. And the reason I'm asking you this question first is that I think people want to see intent also from our politicians, Nupur. Yesterday when the BJP parliamentarian was here, she actually apologized for what happened in Warangal, despite all of what's happening across India as parties continue to campaign. Now, what is the party's official stand as far as gatherings are concerned? And that's why I'm starting with this question to you, so that I can take that question forward to all parties.
There are three things I want to say, Niranjan, to you. First and foremost, if the Honorable Prime Minister, in the midst of the ongoing Bengal campaign, can take a call for the greater good, even though he was not mandated or directed to do so by the Election Commission, if he can take a call and if he can discuss his campaign physically, and you know this, everybody knows this, we were the first political party to start digital campaigning. 9 political parties, including the one who's very vociferously nodding his head, were the people who went to the Election Commission complained. Why do you want to digitize campaign? Why should you disallow physical campaigning? You should allow physical campaigning. It will be unfair on us. BJP will have an added advantage. And 9 political mind you, no less. Fine. And the Election Commission went on with whatever decision they took. I cannot speak for the Election Commission. They undertook and they announced they called out the Bihar election. They called out the 5 state elections that we just saw. They called out the municipal local elections in the that is certainly for the Election Commission to answer. But yes, if the Honorable Prime Minister can stall his physical rallies, can discontinue with his election campaigning plans, so are the politicians. And I mean to speak for all political parties, not just opposition parties, even for the Bharatiya Janata Party. Secondly, you said as far as the Uttarakhand government is concerned, well, last year when the unlock procedure started, Niranjan, my voice is echoing. I would please request your people to correct that.
Yeah, we'll just fix that.
But I will answer this. When the unlock procedure started last year, it was in the wake of repeated requests by all state governments as to how the economies were being affected by the lockdown, by the national lockdown, and how they should be allowed to take a call, how the power should be decentralized, and how they should also, given different circumstances, different positivity ratios, different mortality rates, they should also be given a chance for themselves. And it is only after 4 rounds of VCs between the Prime Minister and the Chief Minister that this decision was taken that fine, we can dilute the NDMA now and you get to decide as to how you want to control and manage the pandemic requirements. And this is precisely why today you see state governments like Maharashtra, state governments like Madhya Pradesh, like Delhi, taking the independent individual calls, like Punjab, Uttar Pradesh also, like Uttarakhand also, as to curbs and lockdown orders and curfew orders as well. As far as the particular question you asked, must I say that that question would be best answered by Uttarakhand, but I think we would be trigger happy if we were to just presume that they have already announced Chardham Yatra. Last year it was cancelled and that cancellation order was continued. In fact, when the Kumbh Mela happened, given obviously the fact that Mela is one of the biggest, you can say, economy supporters for the state of Uttarakhand. When the Kumbh Mela was announced, the status of Uttarakhand as far as the pandemic numbers are concerned, it was a very safe state. It wasn't showing more than, say, 20, 30, 40 cases a day from the capital city of Dehradun. Now, if they have decided we will take a call after the lockdown, I don't think I would like to preempt that they've already said, yes, we are going to go ahead with the Chardham Yatra.
Okay.
And then answer for it. Okay. I think I would be better suited to answer once they have decided either ways. And if I am not wrong, the state is going to obviously think about the health infrastructure because they discontinued Kumbh Mela before it was officially meant to get over.
Yeah,
and I think all governments are also responsible currently, given that there's decentralization.
Yeah, I was purely on the point of intent when I quoted the Uttarakhand Tourism Minister Satpal Maharaj, who said the government is making all possible arrangements for the Char Dham Yatra and will take a call on it after the lockdown. Now, there was a reason why I also asked that question, and I saw Riju Datta nodding his head. Riju, I have a question for you as well. Now, there is a reason why I asked that, because in Uttarakhand, the number of cases, I just said that over 6,000 cases, that's over 2,500% rise in the last 25 days. But Riju, you were smiling, you were laughing. Yesterday, I brought you those pictures from Kolkata. We're hearing horrible stories of how fast this pandemic is spreading in Bengal as well, Riju. And getting you the pictures from different parts of Kolkata as well. I'll bring you those pictures once again. So can you deny that even in the state of West Bengal, Riju, people are still out on the streets without masks, without precautions, no social distancing? You're still smiling, but I'll let you respond. I'll show you the pictures while you respond as well. Let's bring out the pictures from Kolkata. Go ahead, Riju.
Yes. Niranjan, before answering your question, I'll just want to give a quick answer to my good friend Nupur from BJP. You know, it is our Honorable Prime Minister who on 29th Jan said, despite doomsday predictions, India has won the war against COVID and we have helped 150 countries. And our same Prime Minister in a Bengal rally on 17th of April this year said, I have never seen such huge rallies. तो इलेक्शन कमीशन अगर आपके पास 300 एमपी है, हमारे पास तो 40 एमपी है, इलेक्शन कमीशन इलेक्शन अनाउंस करेगा, हम तो लड़ेंगे, हम तो फकीर नहीं है जो झोला उठा के चले जाएंगे, तो हमको तो लड़ना पड़ेगा ना मैडम. Now coming to the question that you have asked me, yes, our cases are on a rise in Bengal, no doubt about it, and the only organization to be blamed for this is the election commission, which was correctly pulled by the Madras High Court, and who went on to say that election officers should be booked for murders. If you remember, Niranjan, we have wrote from the 5th phase, not once, not twice, thrice, a senior delegation of the MPs went to the EC and said, in view of the rise of the COVID cases, punch all the 3 phases in one phase. Election Commission does not listen to us. When their boss stopped their final rally, then they suddenly stopped it. And now they're saying no Vijay rally on 2nd of May. Now they see COVID, before there were no COVID. But obviously, the people of Bengal also have the responsibility to protect themselves, to mask up, to use sanitization, because it is for their own protection as well. But Bengal, again, I will say, Niranjan,
I'm playing the video out for you. Let me play out the video for you.
Highest number of oxygen plants available.
I'm playing out the video. Once again, Nupur, before you come in, you know, the reason why we're having this debate, now I'm playing the video out. In fact, you know, I'll play the full uncut video. We first played out these reports from Saturday, Sunday. That's our reporter, Shazia. She's walking from one person to another and almost, you know, pulling them up. She's also appalled. She's shocked. She's begging them to wear a mask. And some of them are telling her there is no mask. They're looking up and saying, you know, God is above us. God is there to take care of us. And they're saying Corona hai hi nahi Kolkata mein. I'm sure the election commission that you were just blaming, Riju, I'm sure the election commission is not responsible for these people not wearing masks in different parts of Kolkata. Now, that's not the point. That's not the only reason why I'm having this debate today.
Can I just answer 2 points, please?
I'll let both of you speak. I'll let both of you speak. Both of you, I'll let both of you speak. Okay. I promise both of you, I'll give you a turn to speak.
I'll just finish the point.
Just 2 quick points. It will get lost in this tu meme. First and foremost, Riju, you should correct yourself. The Prime Minister's statement was given the success and the efficacy of both the made and indigenous vaccines, and to counter all kind of hesitancy that was being created by people who were mongering.
Why doesn't
no,
he agree
sir,
to
please,
that?
Riju, allow me to, please, I did not heckle you. Riju, please allow me to answer. Please, I did not heckle you. Let's not debate that way.
Nupur, and if the vaccine, don't just
Okay, I'll tell you, Riju. Okay, Riju and Nupur, let me tell you. Okay.
Please allow me, please. If rallies were any yardstick of being super spreaders, then let's do a recce of what kind of rallies Mamata Banerjee did. She did 112 rallies over 30.
Can we move on from that point?
मैंने तो बोला
Prime
इलेक्शन
Minister- no,
आप
no,
हमारे पास
Prime
40
Minister
MP
did
है, आपके
18
पास
rallies
300
over
MP
11
है।
days.
हम
No,
तो
this is not a,
पच्चीस
no, no,
हैं,
this is not a,
बहुत
this is not a debate about rallies. I just said this is not a debate. No, this is not a,
She did 138
no, no, this is not a debate
No,
about
no,
what
no,
happened before the
no,
second
no.
wave. One second.
मेरी rally में करो,
Okay.
हमारी rally में करो,
Okay, no, no, no. Riju, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what.
बड़े बड़े
No, no,
dialogue
no.
करेंगे दिल्ली में बैठ के
No, no,
You're
I am not going to.
I'm not your friend, but you're not making sense. You did 138 rallies.
Okay, okay. Both of you can have this debate after the debate. One second. Both of you can have this. Nupur. This is not about who conducted more rallies. Come. Okay, both of you pull back. Pull back. Listen. First of all, Nupur, you have to acknowledge Nupur and Riju. Every part of the country, people are. I can't tell you how upset and angry they are. Please, for God's sake, just remember one thing. People are watching, and I can't tell you the kind of messages, calls we get. You will be shocked if you open up the phone lines. Against all politicians. Okay, let's accept that. I'm not saying that, but people are calling in, writing, you know, the kind of reports that we're doing from every state, every city. Now, that's not the point. Point is, you know, why we decided to have this debate. No, usually what we do at 10, Suhail, is that we call experts, we want to take questions, we want to answer questions that people have. You know why we had this debate? Because another tweet came in. Just when the country's talking about, you know, vaccines, no vaccines, 1 lakh people have registered, but they don't know when they'll get their vaccine, no allocation, states are fighting, vaccine makers are wondering, which state do I give to, where do I, you know, get the vaccines from? Look at this, there's a tweet that came in from Rahul Gandhi on Covaxin, out of nowhere. He says, and I want Suhail to respond, and then I want the Congress party to come in on this. He says, Suhail, people's money was given to vaccine companies to develop COVID vaccines. Now Government of India will make same people pay the highest price in the world for these vaccines. Once again, the failed system fails our citizens for Modi Mitra's, I think Modi Mitra's profit. Now, he obviously, he tagged 2 articles, you know, one that spoke about how what rate card does not show government help in developing Covaxin. And he tagged another article was public technology let free for private profiteering. Economists slam high pricing of Covaxin. Now, the Bharat Biotech chief has come in public and he said, you know, when the outbreak happened, they asked for the strain so that they could develop a vaccine for India. And they've done that. And the same people the Congress party praised, Dr. Anthony Fauci, Dr. Fauci in America this morning is praising Covaxin, saying that it's fantastic and it's working against the 617 strain. Right? And in the evening, they put out quotes like this to put questions in the people's minds once again. I want Suhail Seth to come in and then the Congress party can respond.
So let me tell you where we are today. Rahul Gandhi has time and again proven his intellectual innocence and his complete distance from the ground realities of this country. But so have all politicians. You know, with all due respect to every political party on this panel, ask the citizen today, the citizen who's grieving, the citizen who's in pain, from the Prime Minister to the Chief Minister to opposition leaders, everyone has fallen in general esteem and people are worried. So my advice to the politicians would be, rather than fight amongst yourselves and rather than say, you know, who did what, the time now is to come together to heal this country and to actually provide solutions. We all know what the problems were. You know, some political party will blame the Prime Minister, blah, blah, blah. Someone will blame the Chief Minister. You won't go forward as a country. Let's take Rahul Gandhi's latest tweet as an example. What is that tweet finally going to do? It's not only going to raise doubts, Niranjan, as you rightly said. It is going to cast aspersions on our scientific bent of mind, on our scientists. It's going to cast an aspersion on the Herculean effort that vaccine companies in India are putting in. No matter what you might say, you know, there is a time to be petulant. There is a time to be corny. There is a time to be, you know, smart alecky. And then there's a time to be responsible. This is a time for responsibility. This is a time for gravitas. This is a time to understand and recognize the pain that every Indian is going through. And trust me, no matter what people might say, no matter what the BJP will say, what anyone will say, the Prime Minister's image has taken a knocking. Trust me when I say this to you, I have the highest of regard for him. I know he worked his way up, but it's taken a knock. And it will continue to take a knock if people do not follow some of the things that he earlier in March 2020 said. So, it's very easy also for all of us to say, oh, the Prime Minister is wrong, this person is wrong, that person is wrong. But for God's sake, are the politicians divorced from the reality of what is happening? We don't have crematoriums, for God's sake. We don't have oxygen in this country. We don't have medicines. Who are you going to blame? Are you going to blame the citizen? Are we in government? Have we been elected? You've been elected to run a country. If you can't run the country, then tell us you can't run the country. And when I say tell us you can't run the country, I'm including all political parties. Rahul Gandhi's party controls 3 states or 4 states in India. So people are equally culpable. But this is not the time to take pot shots at each other. The citizen who's out on the street, who's begging for oxygen, who's carting the dead body of a relative or a loved one in a car and can't find a hospital bed, does not want to see your fight. He wants to see you come together. He or she wants a solution. It's fine for the Prime Minister to come on and say, oh, everything is fine. I know you will be disciplined. I'm sorry, we need much more than that. When this calamity was a minuscule, you locked the country down. Now don't unlock your responsibility. You have to lock in your responsibility as well. And my appeal is, this is not the issue qua the BJP or the TMC or the Congress. It is a national issue. It's an issue which should unite India. We've had enough of division. You want to fight, fight in parliament. You want to fight, fight on the streets. There is no point. There's no whataboutery. You did 110 rallies. I've done 300 rallies. Yes, hammam mein sab nange hain. So, by doing even one rally, if that one rally makes someone lose their loved one, is that rally worth it? When you won't have people alive, where will your voters come from? And please remember, this is not going to be forgotten. And to hell with what people say about coverage, non-coverage. That's a non sequitur. The bigger issue is, are we up to the task, either in government or not? My advice to the government, unsolicited as it is please start speaking more and defending less. Please tell us what the solutions are. I'm delighted in the manner that corporate India has come together and actually shown solutions. People will be happier seeing oxygen concentrators, oxygen cryogenic tankers land in India rather than pot shots between political parties. And my appeal also would be to the media that now enough is enough. As you very rightly, Niranjan and Republic is running this brilliant campaign about Stay Strong India. That India includes our politicians. They are not impervious to the pain, I'm sure. But the communication and the manner in which they communicate to the citizen, that now needs to change. This is an internal war that we are fighting against an enemy called COVID. That enemy recognizes no stature, no caste, no class, no creed. And I hate to say this, people in power have to be accountable because they are in power. So to believe that people in power will not be made accountable by the citizen, you're living in a utopian concept. And someone will have to take the knock. But this is not the time to drag them down. This is not the time for a Rahul Gandhi to continuously nag his way politically and say, this is wrong, this is wrong. I have not seen one goddamn solution from Rahul Gandhi, not one. I have not seen one helping hand other than his colleague, Srinivas, who's done a sterling job on the streets. Those are the people we need to salute. We know what the problem is. Some of us are responsible for the problem. You can't blame Narendra Modi if people are not masking, or Mamata Banerjee if people are not masking near Nakhoda Mosque in Bada Bazaar in Calcutta. The citizen is equally responsible. We take blame. I'm equally blameworthy for that if I've unmasked. But you can't blame everything on a Modi. And at the same time, you cannot deflect the blame from the Prime Minister or for people who are running the states. When the states wanted, as Nupur said, when the states wanted the liberty to declare a lockdown. The Prime Minister gave them that liberty. If you abuse that liberty, you can't put it back on the Prime Minister. But
Yeah.
again, the Prime Minister must also recognize the states that are abusing that liberty must also be held accountable. Now, Maharashtra has done a superb job in terms of a turnaround. You should salute that. It would be amazingly gracious of the Prime Minister to actually talk about Maharashtra and say, look, these are the states that are doing well. As I said, and I will end my opening remarks with this, I have all the respect for our politicians for only one reason, that they are elected. And we are a democracy when I last checked. But this is the time to come together. This is the time to heal. But this is also the time for accountability.
Yeah.
And not the time for irresponsible statements, either on Twitter or elsewhere. That's it.
Okay. Nupur, I know you have your hand up there. I'll let the Congress spokesperson respond to the tweets that Rahul Gandhi put out. I want to ask Ratnakar Tripathi, Mr. Tripathi, T.S. Singh Dio of Chhattisgarh, Raghu Sharma of Rajasthan, Balbir Singh Sidhu of Punjab, Banna Gupta of Jharkhand held a virtual news conference saying that the centre is hijacking vaccine stocks from manufacturers, even as the centre has been going all out to increase the vaccine available in India. And some states like Maharashtra, where also your government, where your party is in coalition in the government, they've been directly in touch with vaccine makers and vaccine makers are assuring them. But how did these four ministers hold a news conference? And isn't it clear that a national emergency is being used clearly to further a political agenda and add to it what Rahul Gandhi is doing with Covaxin? I mean, you seem to have some agenda as far as Covaxin is concerned. The whole world is praising it. What's the problem?
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Hello.
Yes, the question was for you, Mr. Tripathi. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, what is your problem with Rahul Gandhi?
What is my problem?
Suhail said he didn't give any solution. What is your problem? Since days I'm just listening that people should unite, there shouldn't be any politics. It seems that you just want to refrain. You would just want Congress to refrain from pointing out the wrongs of the
What was wrong, sir?
Modi government. Nothing else.
Now, what is your problem with the
elections are
Covaxin?
wrapped up. Please, Narendra ji, let me speak. No, we don't have any problem with the Covaxin. He just said that when the government has funded the Covaxin, let the government decide the price, not the Bharat Biotech. And let me tell you one thing. When everybody has wrapped up the political campaign, people are coming out and say, oh, there shouldn't be any politics. And if you mean by doing politics is to rally behind this government, this failed government, to join the chorus of nothing is lacking and all is well, oh man, I prefer politics.
Nobody's asking you to rally behind anyone. Everyone's just looking for solutions.
Let me complete, Niranjan ji. You gave Suhail said, sir, a marathon speech.
Because he's speaking for the citizen, he's not speaking for any political party.
Listening to Martin Luther King on Lincoln Square.
I'm sorry, but he made a lot of sense. No, he made much more sense than some politicians. No, you may not like him showing the mirror. I'm sorry, you may not like him showing the mirror. You may not like him showing the mirror, but he spoke sense. Go ahead.
Let me speak or you.
Okay, go ahead.
Either let me speak or don't call me. Please. You didn't interrupt any of the panelists, but you always interrupt me. Why? Let me show you one thing. 135 people died during the duties in Panchayat election in Uttar Pradesh. Who is responsible for that? When 12 days before, Allahabad High Court imposed lockdown in five districts, Yogi Adityanath went to Supreme Court and stalled it just because to hold elections. The government, central government, the Uttarakhand government preponed the Kumbh Mela. It was to happen in 2022, but due to some astrological reason, they preponed Kumbh Mela. Why did they do so? Just because of their preferences, political preferences. And if you think that we will not point out what Modi has done wrong, you are wrong, sir. If you say it is politics, yes, we prefer politics. Why shouldn't we? Why so much hue and cry? Why should Rahul Gandhi rally behind Modi?
Fantastic, fantastic.
Modi has done all his job. When the country is in a devastated state, everybody is dying. There is nothing. Oh, come behind Modi. Come behind the.
Nobody's
government.
asking you to one second. Hello, Ratnakar Tripathi ji, don't put words in my mouth. I haven't asked you to. No. Nobody's asked. No, don't put words in my mouth. I only said don't spread. Don't put doubts in the minds of people about a vaccine.
Don't try to.
No, I am not asking you to support any political party. Did I ask you to support any political party?
You are asking me a selective question.
What selective question did I ask you? I asked you what is your problem with Covaxin, and you gave me such a big speech. You gave me such a big speech, Mr. Tripathi. Fantastic speech. No, fantastic.
Rewind your tape. Niranjan ji, rewind your tape.
Did I? Okay, you know what? Because you. Okay.
You particularly point out.
No. I want to show you. No, because you gave me such a sanctimonious speech about the Congress party. Let me show you, Mr. Tripathi. You're such a forthright politician. So let me show you the pictures from Warangal yesterday. Now I want you to identify. If you're in front of a TV screen, I want you to identify the party that was campaigning. Let's play out the pictures. I'm pulling out the pictures. Wait. There were 4 parties. Okay. There were 4 parties. I'm going to play out the pictures. I want you to figure out. I want you to guess the name of the party. Okay. I want you to guess the name of the parties. I'm pulling out the pictures from yesterday. This is just one party whose spokesperson is also on the debate, but I have more pictures from yesterday with the Congress party. Oh, there it is. Please, can you identify the party which appears on the right side of your screen? Mr. Tripathi, I want you to identify that party and tell me the name of that party.
Complete, sir.
No, you gave me a speech. You gave me a speech about politics. I want you to identify the party on screen.
Of the change. By doing virtual rallies, he didn't so.
No. You tell me. You gave me a speech about the Congress party. Identify the party on screen.
The flag bearer of the change.
No, you gave me a speech. You gave me a speech. Now identify the party on screen. You gave me a speech. Identify the party on screen.
Niranjan ji, you are not on the street.
I am not on the street.
You are not on the street.
Sir, we have a better sense of what is happening on the streets than politicians.
Don't show me pictures. I am not going to see.
Why?
Mr. Tripathi.
You gave me a speech about politicians. You gave me a speech about politicians.
You don't even know. You are the same person, tie-clad person.
What person?
Like Modi. You don't know, sir. Come to Varanasi.
What person, sir? What person did you say? I'm sorry.
Challenge any BJP spokesperson.
No. What did you say? What person?
Like Modi, sir. You like Modi, Niranjan ji.
What are you talking about?
You are cut off from the world.
Sir, we are. Please don't give us lessons. We report from the field, sir. Ratnakar ji, at least don't give us sermons about journalism, please. Sir, we are reporting from every state. We are reporting from UP. We are reporting from Karnataka. We are reporting from Tamil Nadu. We are reporting from Haryana. Please don't give us sermons. We are putting out the pictures as they are. Okay, you may not like it. I will after this debate. No, what I'll tell you, what I'll do, Mr. Tripathi, what I'll do after this show is I will send you all the links. No, I will send you all the links. No, the problem is you just come to the debate and you watch the debate, right? You don't watch the news through the day because you're very busy. No, you don't know the reality of what is shown, and you want to come and give lectures to journalists also now that we are cut off. We are reporting outside hospitals, inside ICUs.
Not at all. I'm
Please.
Niranjan,
Sir,
Mr. Tripathi said.
See,
Mr. Tripathi said. One minute, Tripathi ji. Arey Tripathi ji, 1 minute, ruk jaiye.
A person with the dead body of his wife.
Sir, that is the situation everywhere.
See,
that is the situation everywhere.
See it and feel it, sir.
Yeah, feel it. I feel it. We felt it everywhere. We felt it in Chhattisgarh when we were reporting from there. We felt it when we were reporting from Chhattisgarh also.
It is so called.
No, we were feeling the same when we were reporting from Chhattisgarh also a few days back.
Stop blaming the opposition.
Nobody's blaming opposition. You're the one making it about politicians. What did I start my debate with? I don't want to waste time, Mr. Tripathi. You know this is not going anywhere.
Can I please be allowed to respond?
Please, you respond and we'll get on with it. Nupur, you want to respond? You respond and we'll get on with it.
This can't
Respond and we'll get on with it.
ending. You know, I mostly agree. You have to put his fader down. I'm sorry, can't be a monologue. You know, I mostly agree with almost everything what Sohail says. I just disagree on 2 things. No, Sohail, I'm sorry, Niranjan, this is not the way.
Bhavnaka Tripathi, wait. Yeah, okay, wait. Okay, hold. Okay, you know what? I will give each one of you time. We have time. Each one of you, we have 20 minutes. We have 20 minutes. Some panelists haven't even spoken. Let's go one by one. I'll give you time.
You know, Sohail, I usually agree with almost everything you say, barring two things you said today. It's not just about speaking, it's about doing. When the Prime Minister manages, and you have to agree, it's thanks to his diplomatic relations that today we are getting help from everywhere. But you cannot discount the fact that even countries with a world-class health infrastructure like US suffered. They called out an emergency. 5 hospitals because they were short of oxygen. But what about cooperative federalism? We are in a position today where we are importing 1 lakh oxygen concentrators. We are in a position that we have done away with custom excise duties on a lot of equipment and medicines. We are in a position where we are also importing cryogenic tankers, both PSU and private sector alike. We are the ones who are actually deciding we need to stop industrial use of oxygen. We need to retrieve medicinal. We have ensured that from fertilizer plants, from chemical plants.
Okay, keep it brief, Nupur. Keep it brief. I want to bring in the rest.
All of it.
Nupur, I totally agree. But that is, my dear, part of the governance.
One more thing. Sohail, one more thing I want to say.
Sure,
as far as Maharashtra is concerned, I think it is anybody's guess. There was a time 1/3 of the mortality deaths in India were coming from Maharashtra. 8 dead bodies were being burnt at the same fire at the same time. 22 dead bodies in a single ambulance. The fact is, when you test less, I just tested in Mumbai.
I don't think we should go there, Nupur. Nupur, I don't think we should go there. I don't think any party or any...
talking about testing.
No, I don't think we should go there.
We need to go there.
No, you don't. I don't think you should. I'll tell you, Nupur.
The Prime Minister is requesting tests.
See, that is why I said let's not make this political. Let's not point fingers at each other. That's the whole point. That's why I said let's not, because all states will have to answer. You know, Nupur. You know what's the situation in Karnataka, Nupur? I don't want to open the phone lines. You know what the situation is in Karnataka? I don't even want to go there. Please don't go there. That's why I said let's not make it about that, right? I want to bring in the TRS spokesperson now. The TRS spokesperson is also here on the debate. And let Shekhar Vijayan respond to the TRS spokesperson. Sir, you saw those pictures that came in yesterday, and your party, the youth secretary, was on the phone line. In fact, we decided to get him on the phone and find out, why, they continued with that rally yesterday, Kalikur. And we were appalled with the kind of defense that came in, saying what's wrong, and then they started talking about Kumbh, then they started talking about everything else that's happening, saying, well, how are we responsible? Many people are not even wearing masks there, Kalikur. Today, when people are watching this debate, in fact, I'm getting messages, I can't tell you, I won't read out the names, but people are saying open the lines because they're angry with everyone. Not one party, they're angry with everyone. I'll let you respond, and then I'll let Shekhar come in.
First of all, I'd like to thank Republic for running this campaign, Stay Strong India. I think this is the time that we all have to work unitedly. Whichever party you belong to, that is secondary. But because our country actually is facing the worst kind of pandemic, and I fully agree with what, my co-panelist, Mr. Sohail has said. I endorse his every single word, and that is the genuine concern of every citizen, and so should be the genuine concern of every politician. I think the politician should rise above the political affiliation, because today, if we, play the blame game, I think that is not really going to solve. And I think the tweet, what you have shown from Rahul Gandhi today, I think really, unfortunate and uncalled for, because that is really not required, because our scientists and especially the Bharat Biotech have put in so much of efforts to produce that vaccine. So there should not be any kind of, confusion or misunderstanding or apprehensions in the minds of the people. So this is the time that we have to actually, talk about the solutions. This is the time we have to, talk about how we can, save the lives of the people, how we can, ramp up the oxygen production, how we can, ramp up the medical facilities. And, this is again not the time that which party has actually conducted how many rallies and Now, and as Mr. Soil said that because, you know, the elections are being held because the election commission has decided. So every political party, you know,
but
has to
10,000
participate
cases,
in the election process. But at the same time, as you very rightly said, Niranjan, I agree with you because, you know, whatever happens is whenever there is a congregation, whenever there is, you know, the overcrowding of people, naturally because there will be a, you know, violation, especially.
People are not even wearing masks.
You know, the mask. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm coming to. So that is the reason. First of all, I think the election commission should not have actually gone ahead with the election. But having gone ahead with the election, now because every party, whichever party, so you can't really single out or blame any party, be it BJP, Congress, or TMC, or TRS, or any party as a matter of fact. But I think, you know, we as the politicians have to be responsible enough. Now, so we have to, you know, complement each other's efforts, and whatever, you know, the Prime Minister is doing today, we have to, you know, see to it that every state comes forward, and even the Prime Minister of India also, you know, should, you know, reach out to every single state and see to it that the proper, you know, the medical supplies are being given to the states. And
I'm happy that you're at least you're acknowledging
where the impact is less.
I'm happy you're acknowledging. I'll let Shekhar come in because, you know, a lot of people, I'll tell you, a lot of people have been shocked ever since we showed those pictures of the campaigning. All parties. I started the debate yesterday. I started the debate by even questioning the BJP.
Exactly.
All parties. Congress was there. Congress is now giving lectures to the rest of India. Shekhar, you want to respond to what he said? I'm happy that you at least acknowledged. Shekhar, you respond, and I want to bring in the rest. Shantanu hasn't spoken, and Shailesh Gandhi hasn't spoken. I want to bring them in next.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yes, Niranjan. I think first up, thank you for doing what you're doing at Republic TV, and I would like to tell all my fellow panelists, I hope all of you are doing safe. I hope all your families are doing safe because of COVID. Now, what images you showed, it looks like there's a carnival going on. It's not an election. I think you know, power at the cost of humanity is just not done. I've been in this debate for the last half an hour. I've just seen people fighting amongst each other, but the ground reality is very, very different. I'm a part of various WhatsApp groups. Social media is so active with citizens of India helping each other out. And right now, I feel our leaders need to come out and apologize and say, yes, we made a mistake. There's nothing wrong in going out and apologizing, saying you made a mistake. We cannot call ourselves a superpower if our healthcare system is so bad. I know of people who have lost lives. I know of families who have lost lives. As we talk, we know of families where every second person is a COVID victim, where we are fighting for something as basic as oxygen.
Yeah.
Now, you know, if you look at India, I think Mr. Modi is a polarizing figure. There are a lot of people who like him and hate him in equal measure. But I feel brand Modi has taken a beating here, mainly because we were looking at him as somebody who could help us out here. And as somebody who likes him a lot. But, you know, right now we're all very lost. Indians are very lost. We are fighting a world war of a different kind. This is an invisible enemy, and we all have to come together as citizens. We cannot be squabbling with each other. We cannot be pointing out, you did so many rallies, I did so many rallies. The point of the matter is, we have to fight this enemy as one. We can do it. We have done it in the past. India is a very, very resilient country. India is passionate. India has done it earlier. There's no reason why India cannot
I'll tell you a couple of instances, Shekhar, last few days, and this is why I want to bring in Shantanu and I want Shailesh Gandhi to come in. Shantanu, a couple of instances I'll tell you which has happened in the last few days ever since the Prime Minister, let me tell you that none less than the Prime Minister and the Home Minister took stock. They decided to, you know, focus completely on the second wave and ensure that they fight it head on. You know what was happening in Karnataka? Let me tell you 3 or 4 instances. Last 2 days, I have broken the stories when I was, you know, doing the news in the day. On the 22nd of April, the Karnataka Deputy Chief Minister, Ashwath Narayan, campaigning for local body elections in Ramnagar district. Several ministers were seen campaigning. Okay? And then, in the same state of Karnataka, today there was you know, celebration in Ullal when the administration again had to sort of step in and ensure that the thousands of people who had gathered overnight at the, I'll tell you the temple, the Someshwar temple, flouting norms. It happened last night. And then it's happening across India. There are several instances coming in. I just told you about what happened in Warangal. Even the BJP was there. None less than a union minister was posting pictures about what was happening in Warangal as far as the campaign is concerned. He also spoke about the large crowd in Warangal. I won't take names, but I don't have to tell you who was there, who was campaigning. You want to respond to that, Shailesh?
Naranjan.
Yeah, okay, Shantanu, you come in first and I'll let Shailesh Gandhi respond to you.
Yeah, Naranjan, you're right. I think here from Netas to we the public, I think we all are equally responsible. 20 days back, get a picture from Chandni Chowk. It was no less than a Kumbh, I'm telling you. You go to any mall in Delhi. In fact, I was with a mall alone 20 days back to buy something, and it seems in some iPhone shop there was some discount. And in a 500 square feet shop, there were 300 people. But Kumbh is easy target for us. Netas are easy targets for us, right? But the pictures in Chandni Chowk or a picture in the iPhone shop was no less than a Kumbh, right? I think I'm telling you with folded hands, with all the panelists and all the people who are watching, if you cannot be the part of the solution, don't be the part of the problem. Just go yourself and get vaccinated. Don't hear Rahul Gandhi, don't hear Akhilesh Yadav. It's not a BJP vaccine, it's a tested vaccine, for God's sake. It's tested it among 14 crore people who got the jab. A lot of people got double jabs. I got my in-laws, my mother alone in AIIMS Rishikesh got the double jab done, alone without registering herself. I think stop this nonsense, just get yourself vaccinated. In Israel, it seems, I heard, even now you can go outside on the road without the mask because almost 70% population got vaccinated. That's the only solution. Till the time, if you can afford, don't go out. If you go out, double mask yourself, use all the desi formulas, whatever you have. But again, stop this nonsense. Just get yourself vaccinated and don't hear Rahul Gandhi. Stop watching his tweets. If you're following him, don't follow him for at least for time being. And Rahul Gandhi with folded hands, your politics can wait. I know your politics is not doing good from the last couple of years, but this is not the time. Whenever India is in trouble, when someone attacks us, Rahul Gandhi says, oh, can I chamkao my politics somehow? I mean, please, I think now people are smart enough. And as an analyst, I'm saying this is not even helping you. This is not even helping your politics, Mr. Rahul Gandhi, Mr. Akhilesh Yadav. Elections are far away. No elections are coming nearby. UP elections are next year. National elections are a couple of years away. Let us, all of us, come out of this, and then we can do all our politicking.
Yeah. Shailesh Gandhi.
Citizens of India are grieving. And at this time, we are only fighting amongst ourselves. But what has caused this? God was very kind to India because the COVID hit India a little later than it hit some of the other countries, and therefore we were warned. Unfortunately, by November, hubris set in. Arrogance, hubris, carelessness, call it what you will. And people felt, oh, we won. We've beaten the coronavirus. The whole world can't do it. We are very smart. That's what really hit us. And believe it or not, for the last 4 months or 5 months, the National Disaster Management Authority hasn't met. The National Disaster Management Authority is supposed to be the authority that should decide most things and policies as far as a catastrophe like this is concerned. It has not met. The second blame definitely lies with the Election Commission. The Election Commission could have either postponed elections, alternately, let's assume it couldn't postpone the elections. They could have said no election rallies and people will not stand close together, no rallies over 500 people or something like that. It could have done that. It did not do that. It failed. It failed India and people will die. And I hope this is the end of it. We do not know how much further down this painful road we have to go. None of us knows that. COVID appropriate behavior is supposed to be basically don't get together in groups and congregate. The panelists mentioned going to a mall. Even in a mall, I was told that there are restrictions that have been placed, and if they have not been placed, that is wrong. Everywhere we have to do this. We cannot change this. And we have defined this. We have not followed this. And if you do not follow this, the deaths of thousands lie on the heads of the leaders. And yes, the leadership has failed. Large rallies were addressed by the Prime Minister, Home Minister, various Chief Ministers, and various political leaders. And not one of them could realize what is happening. Before the elections were called, itself the Election Commission should have said no major rallies. The Election Commission failed. Political leadership failed. The religious and spiritual leadership also failed. They should have realized that this is not on. The Kumbh Mela and various religious congregations, I'm not talking of this Ramzan congregation, Kumbh Mela congregation, all these congregations should have been stopped. 1 year back, we were all salivating at a congregation of a few thousand people, 4,000 or 5,000 people, and saying, oh my God, this is a super spreader. What have we done now? And what is going to be the consequence of this? I am scared of the first 15 days of May. I am praying to God that God let all the punya of the Indians come together and for God's sake spare India. We've been very foolish. Our leadership has been foolish. Indian citizen can be blamed. Yes, I concede. It would be very nice if you could ramp up our public health structure. But that is a longer term thing. And for that, we need to look at it long term.
Yeah.
In the short term, whatever can be done. And there's one more thing I'd like to bring to your attention, which is not being attended to. Devi Shetty has written about it. Even if we have hospitals, even if we have oxygen cylinders, the medical personnel are not there. And there is no focus on that. And I have a National Disaster Management Authority which doesn't even meet. They've trivialized death. They've trivialized the health of people. They've trivialized coronavirus, and coronavirus is a deadly virus. It will not allow itself to be trivialized. And I'm blaming all parties. I'd hope that some political parties would get together and say we will not have rallies independently. But that I was probably expecting too much from our political leadership. Is this the kind of leadership India deserves? It is not. I'm very sorry to say I belong to no political party and I'm not blaming any political party. But all political parties must stand up and say, we are sorry to the people who have died. Respect the deaths of Indian citizens. Respect the fact that India has lost young, old, all kinds of people, the dear family members of many people. And I hope now at least, hopefully this will go down. We will learn our lesson and not allow a third wave to hit us like this.
Yeah.
By hubris, arrogance and carelessness.
Yeah. Patikrit hasn't spoken, but Nupur, you can make a short intervention and then I'll go across to Patikrit.
Well, the fact is that the Empowered Group 3 has been meeting regularly. That includes officials, the chairperson of the NDMA, and also includes the senior most officials from MEA, MHA, cabinet secretaries, also the PM. Secondly, as far as the second wave is concerned, there were letters of preparedness sent repeatedly by the central government all through every week to all state governments from December 2020 till recently April 23rd, 2021. Third point, and finally, I myself have my Mamaji, my mom's real brother, who's in emergency and he's got pneumonia. He's down with coronavirus in a hospital in Gurgaon after much trouble. At the same time, I'm sorry to sit here to say only rallies without any scientific background or any kind of backing, only rallies were super spreader, but the Kisan Mahapanchayats and the Kisan protests and the support that some political parties offered to them was not, or some other gatherings and private parties and weddings and God knows what all, flouting all possible protocol of coronavirus 2019 pandemic. That was not a super spreader. I am sorry, that is the most illogical argument.
Every gathering was a super spreader. Every gathering was a super spreader. And let me bring in Patikrit and because he hasn't spoken, he's just been patiently listening. Every gathering was a super spreader. Let's not deny it. Every gathering was. In fact, when a few weeks back, we were questioning why the farmers, the so-called farmers, are still squatting at Singhu. In fact, they're still there. They're still there. But we're not talking about them now because we've spoken about them and we've almost given up because nobody's asking them to move. There are 24,000 cases and they're still squatting there. Patikrit, where do you stand on this?
Niranjan, a nation which is not responsible enough to wear a mask properly, it doesn't deserve better than what we are facing now. But nevertheless, there are some good news because day before yesterday, 220,000 people recovered. Yesterday, 262,000 recovered, and the recovery rate will keep on increasing. The problem with this country, Niranjan, is that we are all partisan, we are all selective. Those who are critical of PM Modi and the central government, and they have the right to be critical, would shy away from mentioning that there has been scathing remarks which have been made on the Delhi government by the Delhi High Court. And similarly, those who are now saying that election rallies are responsible are the same people who have been extremely critical when the lockdown was going on. Look at the bankruptcy of this country and especially the states that they don't even have cryogenic tankers. Forget about everything else. You know, there are states like Delhi which is flush with money, which they don't need to give subsidy on agriculture. What have they done in the last 1 year in terms of improving their institutional infrastructure? They get the maximum support from the central government in terms of central forces setting up things. And same with other states. I am not getting into BJP or Congress states. Fact is, Today, the states are in a mess because of their freebie politics. Can we learn a few lessons from this? You know, the money that is wasted on wasteful subsidies for winning elections, can we make it a point to spend that money on infrastructure building instead of giving free water, free electricity to be used for using air conditions? How many states today, Niranjan, are coming up and saying, I have the capacity to co-produce the vaccine along with Bharat Biotech and Serum Institute? No, they don't have it because they never wanted their PSUs to go to that level. They never wanted to develop that infrastructure. All that they have done in the last 70 years is to spend money on populism. And let me tell you one thing, Niranjan, Rahul Gandhi should be told that there are certain universities of United States who collaborated with Bharat Biotech for making vaccine. And making a vaccine is not like making peanuts. It requires tremendous amount of expenditure. It requires tremendous amount of quality control. A country which spends 15,000 rupees on a mobile phone, if that country cannot spend 600 rupees for a vaccine, I don't buy that idea.
No, I'll tell you something, because
let's learn lessons.
Listen. Some of the things that were said or are being said by the Congress party, the Bharat Biotech chief has said it in an interview. I've run out of time. I've completely run out of time.
Just a bit about Covaxin. Technically, it's a BSL 3-level vaccine, and usually vaccines cost almost 1,500 to 2,000 rupees. And sorry, what were you doing? Not building facilities for so many years. This is really wrong. And
I've asked that question. I've asked that question to them.
When people undermine the efforts and the sincerity of our Indian researchers and medical background doctors, that is the biggest disservice.
No, I'll tell you something, Nupur. What we'll do is I will send Mr. Ratnakar Tripathi the link to the full interview of Bharat Biotech Chief Dr. Krishna Ella with Arnab. What you're tweeting as great journalism, as he's actually said it in public, that he asked for a strain, got it, vaccine was ready by September, went through approvals, due process. It's in the public domain. And let me end by saying one point. There is an attempt to berate the Made in India vaccines and generate anger against them, and that's a continuing trend even now, which is a very dangerous trend. And the reason why I'm saying this is that there's a very dangerous trend. I'll tell you why. We as citizens, we just have two defenses right now. Only two defenses. A mask and a vaccine. And if you try and put doubts in the minds of people about the vaccine, it's going to cause mayhem. I just want to end on that one point, so that all of you think about it. Only a mask and vaccine. Nobody else is going to come and help us. Yeah, Suhail is saying something, Suhail, but I have to end. Suhail. Okay, I'll give you 10 seconds. 10 seconds, and then we'll end.
Said Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King, I don't deserve that compliment, but he said, and he began his speech, that I have a dream that one day this nation will rise to the true meaning of its creed.
Yes, we will. Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you very much. Arnab will be back tomorrow. We have the exit poll coming up with CNX. Starts at 6 p.m. and stay tuned.